Hi, welcome back to Sherry's Sweet Sensations. I'm Sherry, and today we're going to be making an amazing marble cake that you and your family can enjoy over the upcoming holidays, Christmas and Thanksgiving. Some of the ingredients you're going to need for that cake are a cup and a quarter of softened unsalted butter. You're going to need 2 cups of all-purpose flour, 1.5 cups of sugar, 4 tablespoons of cocoa, 1 tablespoon of baking powder. You're going to need a teaspoon of vanilla flavor. You're going to need 6 eggs, in addition to a 1/2 cup of chocolate, semi-chocolate chips. And also you're going to need a 1/2 cup of water, hot water, to melt your chocolate chips and cocoa together. So we are going to get started shortly here on the KitchenAid and mix up our marble cake. Okay everyone, here we are at the KitchenAid mixer, and we're going to go ahead and start putting in our first ingredients, which are a 1.5 cups of sugar, in addition to our 1.25 cups of softened unsalted butter. Okay. Side. And we're going to go ahead and start the mixer on medium. And let me stop and say something about mixing your butter and sugar. This is probably the most important step of baking, is your butter and sugar. You want to cream this until it gets light and fluffy. Light and fluffy is not 2 minutes. You need to let it go probably a good 5 minutes until you get that beautiful, silky, smooth, fluffy appearance to your butter and sugar. So we're going to go and get this started, and eventually I'm going to go away and come back and begin entering our next ingredients. So let's go ahead and increase our speed. You also want to use a paddle when you're doing this, not a whisk. A whisk will bring too much air into your batter. So you want to gently increase your speed and really whip this butter and sugar until it gets that beautiful, fluffy, creamy appearance to it. There you go. So we're going to let this whip for a good 5 minutes or so, and I'll be right back. Okay everyone, I'm back, and I want you to see the texture of the butter and sugar. You see how light and fluffy and creamy that is? And also along the way, be sure that you scrape down the sides of your bowl, because while you're mixing, it has a tendency to come up the side of the bowl. So make sure you do that as well. And I also wanted to say, I was thinking while I was away, if you don't have a KitchenAid mixer, these will mix fine on your hand mixer. But if you're using a KitchenAid mixer, don't use the attachment that is the whisk. This is the one I was referring to. Don't use this one. Okay? So now we're going to go ahead and enter our eggs. We want to try and enter 2 at a time. And then we're going to mix that in as well. Bring that together. And another way you can tell that you're there with your sugar and butter is when the appearance is more white than yellow, because butter has a tendency to have a yellow cast to it. So now we're going to go ahead and incorporate our eggs slowly until they're combined. Keep that going and gently add in 2 more of your eggs. 2, there we go. Oh, better than I thought. And gently combine that. You don't want your mixer up on high, doing this on medium. And here are your last 2 eggs. I'm going to bring those in. And again, you see this rim right here along the side of your mixer? That's what I mean. Stop your mixer and go around the rim of your bowl. Just scrape down. And also underneath, so you can make sure that everything is being blended and incorporated well. So let's go ahead and give that a whirl a couple more minutes here, second. Get that going really good. Okay. At this point, we're going to go ahead and add in our vanilla. I know I said vanilla flavor, but I wanted to try something a little different. That's what the lab is all about, trying different things, and I think this is going to be amazing. I actually am going to put in some vanilla bean paste in here. That's going to be really good. So I put about a half a tablespoon in there, and this is the jar that I was using, vanilla bean paste. So we're going to mix that around really, really good. Yum, and it smells amazing. Just that little bit smells so wonderful. Now to this, all we're going to do is just take that baking powder and put it right on the top of the flour. Gently like that. We're going to go ahead and mix this into our flour, into our sugar and butter and vanilla. Just go ahead and put it all in there. Just drop it right over in there. Excuse me, try not to make a mess. And then we're going to go ahead and blend that up as well. Woo! Slow, or you will have a flour shower, like I just did. Try to keep your work surface as clean as possible. There we go. That's blending beautifully. Again, we're going to stop our mixer, and we're going to scrape down the sides so we can be sure to get all that flour goodness in there, and everything is incorporated well. There you go. Start it again. Mix that until it comes together really well. You got to be careful not to overmix. So you just want to mix until everything is incorporated. And as you can see, it is. And if you notice something about the beater that I was telling you about, the flat paddle, if you notice, the batter is right up to the top of the paddle. That's how you know you're not getting any kind of air in your batter. So we're going to stop this, and we're going to move on to the next step. Okay, everyone, we're back, and we've taken our batter off of the KitchenAid, and now we're going to begin working on our chocolate mixture. And I did forget to say that with this chocolate mixture, you're going to need an additional stick of very softened, unsalted butter. So at this stage, we're going to go ahead and soften our chips in the microwave, and we're going to do that in 30-second intervals. So we're going to hit this, get this going. And in the meantime, while we're doing that, we're just going to go ahead and begin opening up the flavor of our cocoa powder, excuse the noise, by adding it to some boiling hot water. So we're going to take our cocoa powder and mix that in. And that beep that you hear in the background is where I have gone ahead and preheated the oven to 350 degrees. So we're going to mix this into our hot water, and this is going to open up the flavor of the beans even more. And then we're going to make this even more decadent by adding in that melted chocolate. So let's see where we are on that, because we're probably going to have to pulse that again for another 30 seconds. And even though it looks like nothing is happening with it, we're going to give it a stir. And we are going to need another 30 seconds. So let's put that in for another 30 seconds. And continue stirring our chocolate, making sure that's all incorporated. And I have these two bowls here. This is where we're going to do our marbling effect. We're going to have half of one bowl will be our regular white batter, and then we're going to take the other half of this batter and put it into this bowl, and that's where we're going to add this luscious chocolate mixture. And with this butter added, it's going to make it so creamy. Oh, so good. Okay, so let's see where we are now. You want to be careful when you're melting chocolate because it can burn so quickly. And see how simple and fast that came together? Okay, so I think we're going to need one additional little quick microwave here, pulse. So let's do this one for about 10 seconds because I don't want to overdo it here. We're going to continue to melt our cocoa with that butter, and this should be ready this time. Yes, that's perfect. So now here's our chocolate. And we're going to put this delectable melted chocolate into our water. And we're going to let this become a beautiful, creamy chocolate mixture here. Take that off of our spoon. And we're going to mix this around to get this good and creamed together. Probably be better to use a knife, actually. And it is. So we're going to get this nice and combined here. Good and combined. And there it is. It's coming together now. It just takes a little bit. There we go. Mix that together slowly. Add the rest of that in there. The rest of that delicious chocolateness. And get that nice and combined in this hot water and cocoa. Okay, that's come together beautifully. Still got a little bit there. You just need to work it until it comes together, as this has done. Okay. Okay, now that we've got that all mixed together and smooth and creamy, now we're going to take this butter that we had on the side here, and we're going to add that into that chocolate mixture, which is going to make this so soft and creamy. And we're going to go away and come back once we get this all creamed together, and we're going to begin making our marbling. Okay, everyone, before we start working on our batter and our marbling, I wanted to talk about the pan that you're going to use. This is an 8-inch square pan, and you can use a circle pan. It really doesn't matter. But you want to make sure you put a piece of parchment in there, so just cut the parchment according to the size of your pan, which we've already gone ahead and done here. So now we're going to take half of this batter, get rid of my trimmings here of my parchment paper. I'm going to take half the batter, and we're going to put that in one bowl, half of that batter in one bowl. There we go. And then we're going to take the other half and put it in this bowl. Okay? Put a little bit more over here, I think. I want to try to get it as close to being half as possible in each bowl. Okay? That's that. Now we're going to take this chocolate mixture that we had, and we're going to fold this into the one bowl here. So that we're going to have one bowl be vanilla, and then we're going to have another bowl be chocolate. So we're going to mix this until we get this combined slowly. So I will be back once I get this all combined, and we will begin the marbling effect. Okay everyone, I'm back, and we now have our chocolate mixture nice and combined. Smells delicious. And we have our regular batter here on this side that we're going to use two of these to do our marbling effect. So let's go ahead and get our pan, and we're going to do our marbling effect. To begin, we're going to go ahead and put down our chocolate. Not all of it, but the majority of it you want to use. Because we're going to come back and put just a little bit on the top. So when I say not all of it, I'm talking about just that much, you know, just enough to put on the top. And we're going to spread that out evenly in the pan. You never want to overfill your pans. You want to fill your pans halfway or just below half, because you don't want to overfill them. They won't bake properly if you do that. Now we're going to put in all of our vanilla mixture. I'll put that right on top of the chocolate. And then we're going to spread that right over the chocolate, like so. Spread that right over the chocolate mixture, like so. Doesn't matter if it goes into the chocolate a little bit, because that's what we want. You're just going to spread it right over your chocolate mixture. Okay. Now we're going to add in the remaining chocolate that we saved for the top. Okay, here's a closer view of what I've done. I've added all of the chocolate first, and then I added the vanilla on top, and just took my spatula and made a nice little layer there. It doesn't matter if it mixes in with the chocolate, because that's what you want. Then you're going to take that last remaining chocolate and go right on top of that, like so. And you're just going to mix it around a little, mix it in with the vanilla some, and make little swirlies as such. So you're just going to go around and around, not too far down in the vanilla, but just till you have a nice little pattern there, like so. Now we're going to take this is a long toothpick. You're going to take the toothpick and you're just going to go back and forth, around and around. This is where your marbling comes in, right here. You don't want to go too far down to the bottom. You just want to go around and around, back and forth, and that's going to give you your marbling. We're going to put this in the oven. I said 350 degrees, but I've decided to change it to 335 because you don't want your cake to cook too fast. So I'm going to pop this in the oven, and when this is done in 30 minutes on 335, we'll show you the final product. Okay everyone, here's our cake, and it looks amazing. And I would like to show you how to test your cake for doneness. You're going to stick your toothpick, and you're going to need a long one because you would not be able to use a short toothpick in these size pans. Again, this is an 8-inch pan and it's 2 inches high, and the toothpick comes out clean, has a little crumble on there. But I also wanted to say, because we reduced the temperature to 335, the cake took a little longer, well actually a lot longer. It took about 15 additional minutes to get this to be done, but if you were on 350 it would be 30 minutes. But I really like to bake my cakes slow so that they actually cook evenly around the whole entire cake. Sometimes if you do it on 350, the cake will be done on the outer edge and not completely done on the inside. So, and if you continue to let it bake and bake, you know, your outer edge is going to become over baked, and then your inside will be perfect. So I like to reduce mine. So now we're going to take this out and let it cool completely, and then we're going to slice this up and show you what our final product is. Be right back. Okay everyone, I'm back, and our cake looks amazing. As you can see the marbling effect here. We have our beautiful chocolate, and we have our vanilla inside as well, and our beautiful top. If you can see that, it's absolutely gorgeous. Now here's the secret that I wanted to share with you to make all of your cakes extra moist. I'm only telling it to you, nobody else. So here we go. In this cup I have a simple cup of water. I have a cup of water and a cup of sugar, just regular sugar. And you want to nuke this in your microwave until all of the sugar granules are dissolved. And this will keep your cake extra moist. I guarantee it. So if you take this just as regular spoon and just take it and just lightly put it over the top of your cake and let it soak down into your cake. Right here, just go in a line if you want. And just go down, let it get into the cake. It'll run off, that's fine. But it will get into that cake. And you don't want to overdo it. You know, a little bit goes a long way. So this is all you want to do to your cake. And this is called simple syrup. And that's all you want. Now this cake is ready to be frosted if you want to frost it, or you could serve it up as a loaf. You know, just cut it straight down the middle and then cut it in wedge-wise this way, which I think is what we're going to do. So let me get a platter. I'll come back and we'll go ahead and cut it up into a loaf form. Be right back. Well, here we are again with another amazing cake recipe. And this cake looks and tastes and smells delicious. Your family is going to love this, and you could either leave it like this as a loaf, or you could put frosting on it. I'm going to put a little frosting on for my husband. But this is amazing. This is your beautiful marble cake. Thank you so much again for coming by to see me and watch another one of my wonderful videos. And if you'd like to see a little bit of what I do, please go to Instagram and check out my Instagram page, Sherry's Sweet Sensations with a Z. And I also wanted to make mention that if you're interested in a beautiful t-shirt such as this one, or custom design t-shirt, we also do those as well. You'll find the link to the website in the bottom of the description bar. And again, it was a pleasure baking with you today. And I'd like to give a shout out to Miss Chris, who introduced me on her YouTube channel. Again, that's Chris Cooks for You Too, and she is amazing. That's the number 4 and the letter U and the number 2. Chris Cooks for You Too, and she had an amazing online stream the other night, and invited all of her YouTubers to ask questions, and she introduced me. I'd also like to give a shout out and thank you to all of the brand new subscribers that I've gotten as a result of Miss Chris's YouTube announcement. I really appreciate you coming over and trusting my site, and I look forward to baking with each and every one of you. Thanks again. Be sweet.